Good evening, everybody. Give me just a second. I'm still got to set stuff up. So, first of all, wait, no. Hey, Sunflowers, and welcome to another episode of BPDsquared Live. So, on this channel, we discuss topics that deal with mental health and how to grow and become our best versions, the best versions of ourselves. I want y'all to forgive me. I am under the weather today. Got a little bit of a sore throat thing going on, but I still wanted to show up for you guys and get this video out because, I got to do what I got to do. I'm holding myself accountable. So, um, speaking of that, so far this month, we have discussed, why we have trouble completing our goals. Then we covered the mindset. We talked about how the mindset is formed, what the mindset is, and how we can improve the current state that we're in. So, for tonight's episode, we're going to discuss accountability and true acceptance. And I want to say welcome to everybody who is here. Checking the comments right now. Hey, Christopher J. Thank you for showing up. Hi, my baby girl. Hey, Anya. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. So yeah, tonight's episode is going to be a bit short because again, I'm under the weather and I don't know how long my voice is going to hold up, and I don't want to. And I don't know if I'm going to pass out from all the medications I've been taking either. So we're just going to zoom on through for tonight. But yeah, anyway. So guys, accountability and acceptance go hand in hand. They both focus on, speaking of focus, hello. Hold on, we're going to fix this. Fix yourself, please. There we go. All right, so accountability and acceptance go hand in hand. They both focus on you becoming more self-aware and working towards your personal growth. So tonight, we're going to cover what accountability and acceptance are by definition and how both can lead to personal growth, self-awareness, and living authentically. So for those of you who are new to this channel and you haven't met me before, hey Sunflower, my name is Brenda, and welcome to BPDsquared. Again, the channel where we discuss mental health for personal growth and living our best lives. So after being diagnosed in 2019 with BPD and bipolar disorder, I looked for a community that would help me navigate my way through this newfound discovery. And when I wasn't able to find that, unfortunately, I ended up creating my own. So BPDsquared is an advocacy and a community. It is not a medical practice. So I am not able to give any counseling, therapeutic, psychiatric, or diagnostic advice. What I can and will do on this channel is share my personal experiences, lessons, and research, and hopefully learn a bit from you guys as well. And speaking of that, if you or a loved one is in a position where you are seeking medical help or you need a medical professional, please refer to these resources here on the screen. There is a link in the description box, or what I like to call the flower box, to this particular page, which is on my website. You can access the various organizations that you see listed here, including a few more that are listed, as well as there's a database that can help you find someone in your local area if needed. And finally, guys, I want to issue a trigger warning, a general trigger warning for you guys. We cover various topics on this channel, and unfortunately, I'm not able to account for every single person's trigger point. So with that in mind, I just advise that you guys all watch at your own discretion, and whatever is discussed on this channel, it will be marked with timestamps. So just await the timestamps that will be available at the end of the video. And that's pretty much it for housekeeping. So let's get into what accountability is and how it can help us achieve true acceptance. So, first, what is accountability? So, Merriam-Webster dictionary defines accountability as the obligation or willingness to accept responsibility for one's actions. In essence, it's being accountable, sorry, is holding yourself responsible. So you're able to see your faults and your flaws in the situation. So I want to give you guys a scenario that we're going to build on as we go through tonight's topic. So say that you committed to help a friend write their paper for a college class. But what you didn't consider when you made the commitment was that you have your own class to study for, you have a shift to work in the evenings, you have to find time for yourself in the process. There's all these things that as you're trying to make things happen, you realize, oh, wait, all this stuff is still going on too. You still show up for this friend, but you're tired and you're irritable, and overall, you're just not mentally there. So, unfortunately, you end up lashing out at this friend and you start making excuses, or you start shifting the blame on them and accuse them of setting you up for failure because they should have been more aware of your schedule. But a moment of reflection makes you realize that none of what you feel is their fault. So you hold yourself accountable and you tell your friend, I apologize for my behavior. I didn't take into consideration all of the other factors that surrounded this decision. I am taking my discomfort out on you because I did not plan my time well. So acceptance in this instance comes into play when you realize that there's an issue with time management, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So moving forward from that, I want to know, have you guys ever heard of this particular term? It's called DARVO. So as we mentioned earlier, or as I mentioned earlier, sorry, there's a matter of blame shifting and certain behaviors that are exhibited when you find yourself kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place that you placed yourself in. Now, blame shifting is something that we've covered before. It wasn't on my channel, but we talked about it on Christopher J's channel, and which is called the BTSI show. There is a link in the description box to that video, so please go and check it out, and also go and support my boy. He does great work on his channel. Definitely covers topics that make you really think about some things. So definitely go check him out. And I appreciate all your love and support, Chris. Thank you so much. But yes, as we're talking about DARVO, this term is mostly associated with those who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, and other personality disorders, i.e. BPD. So, now that I think about it, I may have actually done this myself before, but I mean, it is what it is. So the term DARVO is actually an acronym that stands for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. And you're very welcome, Chris. So, though this is related to these, like the specific diagnosis that I mentioned, it is still something that we should take into consideration because, it's probably something that we've all done before, even if we've done it unconsciously or subconsciously. So Very Well Mind has a particular article that covers this. And so the first sign, as we mentioned, is denial. So we go back to our example, and I'm sure that there have been times where we say, okay, this isn't my fault. And the way that this happened this way because XYZ, insert your excuses here. This may even we may even find ourselves downplaying the importance of the matter, and in turn downplaying our friends by saying that the task wasn't even that important anyway. It won't really affect them. It won't affect their grade. If we're going back to this specific example, it won't affect their grades. It's not that big of a deal, such and such and such. Now, excuse me, y'all. The second sign is attack. So attack is where we start to blame the other person for the shortcomings. We, as we mentioned earlier, you may start to blame shift and give reasons as to why the other person is wrong or the cause of the problem at hand. This could be in the form of insulting them, discounting their feelings, gaslighting them. The list goes on. For example, when the friend may bring to your attention, all right, your response right now or your behavior right now is very rude, it's very mean. And you then respond to them, well, it's not my fault that you're not smart enough to do this on your own. So attacking their intelligence. And finally, we cover the RVO, the reverse victim and offender. So in this situation, the person at fault, if we may place ourselves in that situation, we say you, will try to make themselves the victim. Most likely, you will try to deflect from the situation. You make yourself seem more pitiful and helpless. Like, oh, it's more a bad thing for you than it is for them. This may sound like I'm only responding this way because I'm tired and I gave up my time for you. And, think about the fact that I just came from work, or think about this, think about that. Basically, trying to put yourself in the more sympathetic side, the sympathizing part of the situation. So it's just an attempt to take away from the bad behavior and to make themselves seem less abhorrent and to gain sympathy. And yes, I use the word abhorrent. Anyway, excuse me. Hold on. Y'all, Keenan got me sick. Anyway, so again, as we cover this particular term, this is a tactic that is most often recognized in those that are diagnosed with specific personality disorders like NPD. But it is, again, something that you should make yourself aware of because, it's maybe something that you've done before. And this is not to say necessarily that you have a covert diagnosis or anything like that. It's mostly to say, as we've covered on this channel before, a lot of what we see in certain diagnoses are also just a part of the human experience. So again, it's just something to make yourself aware of. So moving forward, we go into our next point of tonight's topic, which is what is acceptance? So now that we have a better understanding of accountability in ways that we actually don't hold ourselves accountable, as we saw with this example, we're going to switch into what acceptance is. So again, forgive me, y'all. Oh, this is horrible. So again, acceptance, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, has several definitions. Right now, I'm going to focus on two specifically. So the first definition is to give admittance or approval to. And the second is to endure without protest or reaction. There is a third definition that I will focus on, but I'm saving that for the end. So again, in our example, if we're being honest with ourselves, we could see that any behavior that turns the blame on the other party is obviously not the right answer. Though you may be justified, the real problem still comes from you. We may admit to ourselves, all right, what I said was pretty harsh. My words were uncalled for. I probably shouldn't have taken it out on them. And again, this is a great way to hold yourself accountable, but acceptance to me takes it a bit deeper. So at this point, we are acknowledging the action, which is a great thing. Now we must search for the meaning behind the action. So in our example, the person ends with, I took my discomfort out on you because I did not plan my time well, meaning that there may be an underlying issue with time management. But the main focus here is that not only are they admitting to their faults, but they're also discovering, okay, the root of the problem. The root of the problem is I didn't know how to manage my time, and therefore I didn't plan accordingly. And now I'm getting upset because I feel overwhelmed, and now I'm taking it out on you. So, again, when we discover the root of the problem, we then discover and consider true acceptance. So, again, I mentioned earlier what another definition of acceptance was that we should give attention to. And that is to recognize as true or to believe. Okay, just one moment. I need to take a sip of water. All righty. So I had to come to a moment of acceptance recently. I was deeply hurt by something a friend of mine did. And when they asked for my help after the fact, I agreed, but I honestly agreed with ill intent. I intentionally made it I intentionally made things more complicated than they had to be because I was acting from a place of hurt. And I eventually, called them and let them know how I was truly feeling. And basically, I just had to be accountable. I had to hold myself accountable because I knew I was hurt. And even though I admitted that I was hurt, I excuse me, I'm sorry. Even though I admitted I was hurt to myself and I admitted I was hurt to them, I didn't truly allow myself to believe that I was as hurt as I really was. But by accepting that truth, really letting it out, letting it exist in the air and being honest with them, I felt 20 pounds lighter, to be honest. Felt like I was just carrying this big boulder on the back of my neck the whole time. So, true acceptance starts when we start to truly believe in ourselves and truly believe in our abilities. So, in what ways can we start to find true acceptance? Excuse me, y'all. So, the first way is to learn from your mistakes. Instead of viewing your mistakes as failures, you might want to think of them as opportunities of growth. All mistakes do is prove to us where we lack awareness and knowledge. There's this, for me, there's a difference between, hello, avocado melt. To me, there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity. And ignorance is just the lack of knowledge of the certain subject at hand. Stupidity is where you have awareness of it and you just refuse to accept it. So, being ignorant of something doesn't make you stupid. It doesn't make you less intelligent. It's just you didn't know the information at the time. So, once this becomes apparent, once this becomes something that you're aware of, you can make the necessary changes to improve upon it. I just like the fact. See, I'm mad because your name is avocado melt and I'm hungry, and that sounds really good right now. I don't even have avocados in my house right now, but I want an avocado melt now. Anyway, moving forward. The second part or the second point is to release control. So in my situation, I was forcing myself to believe something that I knew to be untrue. But in trying to convince myself otherwise, I tried to take control by being petty, to be honest. And really, at that point, I just wanted to win. But life is not about winning or losing, it's about how you handle what comes your way. So sometimes the best thing for us to do in those moments is to just let go and let God. I know, very cliche, but it works more than it doesn't, just being honest with you. And finally, we have to work towards forgiving ourselves. So in the past, if I would have found myself in this particular situation, I would turn to blaming myself and telling myself, you're a horrible person because yeah, you were hurt, but you probably deserve to be hurt. You probably didn't do something right. And that's probably why they did what they did to lead to where we are and yada, yada. Now, I am proud to say that I no longer, well, at least I work very hard not to think this way. And I acknowledge now my feelings and I allow those feelings to exist in those moments. So I actively take time again in my situation to realize what I'm really truly feeling and take a moment to tell myself it's okay to feel it and I forgive myself for feeling what I feel. Because again, one of my biggest things, and I mentioned this before, one of my biggest things is dealing with guilt. And I feel a lot of guilt behind my feelings. So, in forgiving myself, in recognizing I'm allowing myself to move forward from that thing and not holding myself hostage because of my feelings. Excuse me. So, most of the time when we're holding onto a grudge, it's because we're holding a grudge onto ourselves or against ourselves, I should say. Because, we may not have responded a certain way because we didn't get that last sentence out because, we may feel that this person doesn't understand how we feel, whatever the reason may be, it's really all internal. It's really all you. So we find true acceptance by finding true forgiveness. So at the end of the day, true acceptance comes from accepting the truth of you. I began to live more peacefully when I started recognizing and implementing these steps into my daily life. I found peace when I stopped using other people as my gauge for what was right for me. And now I'm more at peace because I hold myself accountable and I follow through with what I plan for myself. And I don't base my plans off of what other people expect. I base it off my own expectations. So, as the serenity prayer states, one of my favorite things, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, as we move into our final week of January, I want you guys to do something for me. Well, mostly for yourself, more for you, but a little bit for me, just a little bit for me. And I'm going to issue you guys a challenge. So, I want you guys to make a promise to yourselves. I want you to make a promise to be accountable to yourself. Whatever it is you want to be accountable for, make a promise today to or tonight to be accountable, whatever that may be. So for me, I'm making a promise that next month I want to record myself or just record daily, just do daily content. So I kind of want to start doing more vlog type videos, just kind of give you guys a behind the scenes look at, what goes on when I'm content planning, the nights when I'm staying up till 3 a.m. writing a script and, life at home, what I do when I'm, out working, et cetera, et cetera. Just kind of sharing my life with you guys. And of course, continuing to post journal prompts, not the way that I was doing them last month, but more in short form. So be on the lookout for that. But again, like I said, I want you guys, and I'm posting it on the screen right now, to write down a goal. Preferably, I would, you should write this goal on a piece of paper or like on a board or a sign, basically somewhere that you are able to see this goal every day. Hey, my love, y'all, my brother in the chat. Yeah, I'll get back to that in just a second. I'll get back to you in just a second, brother. Don't leave. So, but yes, I want you guys to write down a goal and write it on a piece of paper or somewhere that you're going to see it consistently, see it every day, either every morning you get up or every night you go to bed. I mean, you can put it on your bathroom mirror, you can put it on your desk next to your computer, you can put it on top of your phone. However, it's available to you to see every day, make that a thing. But yes, write down your goal, then put the date and the time in which you wrote down this goal, and then sign it. So this is a binding contract with yourself. And we're going to do that from tonight all the way till the end of February. So we will revisit this goal at the end of February and see how we did. But, and I have faith in you guys. I know that we can make this happen. I know that we can do it because with sunflowers, come on. And also, if you don't mind, share in the chat or share in the comments below, preferably in the comments below so everybody can see what your goal is. And I was going to say put the date and time, but just share your goal. Share what you want to accomplish within this month in a few days. So if you are seeing this video in the future, however, it's still cool. Write down what you want to do and put your date and time and give yourself a month to check back in and let us know how you did. Now, all credit for this particular idea goes to Alex Sheen. There is a video linked in the flower box below that where he explains this particular practice. It's something that he developed for his organization, as well as he gives a really good account of what accountability is to him. And it comes from a very different perspective from what I think we're all used to hearing. So it's definitely something to definitely, take a moment to check out. So sorry, I got distracted. Hey, my love. Well, my loves. And it's okay. You have to apologize for tempting me for an avocado melt. Don't threaten me with a good time now. But anyway, so yes, as I was saying, that is linked in the description box below. Definitely go check that out. But that concludes tonight's episode, Sunflowers. I know this live, was a lot shorter than our normal ones because, like I said, I'm not feeling that well. And I already feel my throat kind of like, tingling a little bit, and I'm getting a little irritated. So I'm trying to preserve what little bit of voice I have left. But anyway, I hope that with this live and with our discussion that you have a better understanding of what it means to hold yourself accountable and how accountability leads to true acceptance. So as you see scrolling across the bottom here, make sure you guys follow me on all my socials. Make sure if you are on Facebook, make sure you join the Facebook group because we are looking for more awesome people like you to join the flower garden and continue to grow with us. And speaking of growth, I have to give a huge shout out. That's my spider senses. What? Not in my throat. Ew. Anyway. But yes, I want to say a huge thank you to all the sunflowers who have subscribed so far and all the sunflowers who are yet to come. Y'all, we are almost at 900, which means we are this much closer. No, actually, no, not even that much closer to getting to that 1,000 subscriber mark, sunflower mark, I should say. Now, look, vidIQ says that I'm going to reach 1,000 by April, but the way we're going, I know we're going to reach that before then. So definitely, guys, if you aren't a part of the garden already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Last time I checked, it was free. It don't cost you nothing, just a little bit of time. So otherwise, thank you so much to everybody who joined me tonight. I'm sorry if you kind of came in a little bit later and you're like, oh, crap, it's over. That's okay. This is a short episode. Just rewatch it. Anyway, I'm going to take some time to take some medicine, drink some tea, and eat some ice cream. That's my night. So yes, until next time, sunflowers, stay square. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.